lifestyle. Pleasure, joy. See, some people have money, but they don't even know how to spend it. And remember, it's not the amount that counts, it's the plan that counts, it's the thinking that counts. A father wads up a $5 bill, throws it at his son, and says, "Here, take the darn stuff if you need it that bad." He said, "Well, let's say you're getting your shoes shined." And the shoe shining boy's done a great job. And he's whistled and talked and kept you entertained, and you look down, you got one of the world's great shines. So you reach in your pocket and you pay him. Now, after you've paid him, you reach in your pocket and get a handful of change. And the thought occurs to you, shall I give him 1 quarter or 2 quarters for a tip for my fabulous shine? Shof taught me what the word tip meant. I didn't understand. I'm farm country Idaho. What do I know about tip, right? He says, do you know what tip means? T-I-P. Comes from a phrase. What is it? He said, no, not sophisticated people. You don't wait and see. You ensure. Wow. When we come out of Trader Vic's, as we walk out the door, there is my car sitting right there. Both doors are open, and the motor is running. My lady can't believe it. I said, this is really good. Incredible. Lifestyle. Somebody once said, money takes no right out of the English language. Here's the last subject under personal development. But it's one of the most important. It's called lifestyle. One of the major projects to work on is how to get joy from your substance. Lifestyle is figuring out ways to be unique. And see, uniqueness is that great challenge of taking what you've got and getting pleasure, joy from it. Getting experience from it. See, some people have money, but they don't even know how to spend it. At least they don't know how to spend it for joy. And remember, it's not the amount that counts, it's the plan that counts, it's the thinking that counts. A father wads up a $5 bill, throws it at his son, and says, "Here, take the darn stuff if you need it that bad." See, same $5, right? Same $5. Only instead of being dispensed with joy, it's dispensed with animosity. Now the father gets no joy from the $5 by wadding it up and throwing it. See, that's not how you get joy from it. It's the same money, but it depends on how you spend it. It depends on how you give it. And how you give it is called lifestyle. And Shof taught me lifestyle in the simplest little ways. Shof taught me how to be a 2-quarter person. So I didn't understand what that meant. He said, well, let's say you're getting your shoes shined. And the shoe shining boy's done a great job. And he's whistled and talked and kept you entertained, and you look down, you got one of the world's great shines. So you reach in your pocket and you pay him. Now, after you've paid him, you reach in your pocket and get a handful of change. And the thought occurs to you, shall I give him 1 quarter or 2 quarters for a tip for my fabulous shine? Shof said, here's lifestyle. If 2 amounts pop in your mind for giving, like 1 quarter or 2 quarters, Shof said, always go for the higher amount. He said, become a 2-quarter person. I said, well, what difference would that make? He said, all the difference in the world, being a 1-quarter person versus a 2-quarter person. Now, you got 1 quarter or 2 quarters, so it's not the amount that's going to be the problem. The problem is how you spend it. See, that was unique. He said, if you're thinking 2 quarters, look at my shine, I better go for 2 quarters. And they say, well, no, I'll just give him 1. He said, that will affect you the rest of the day. It'll bother you. Sure enough, right in the middle of the day, you'll look down, see your shine, and say, I got to be cheap. 1 lousy quarter. He said, it'll affect you. But he said, if you go for the 2 quarters, he said, that'll affect you the rest of the day. You'll be happier. Schoaf said, you cannot believe the good feelings you can buy for just a quarter. See, I didn't understand that. Then I learned it's not the amount, it's the thought, it's the idea. Become a 2-quarter person. Schoaf taught me what the word tip meant. See, I didn't understand. I'm from farm country, Idaho. What do I know about tip, right? He says, do you know what tip means? T-I-P. Comes from a phrase. What is it? To ensure promptness. Schoaf said tip means to ensure promptness. Now, he said, if that's true, if tip is to ensure promptness, when should you give it? Up front. See, I didn't know that. He said, sophisticated people always ensure good service. They don't take a chance. I thought, wow, what a way to live. I always thought, well, you waited till the meal was over, see whether or not you got good service, and then tip. He said, no, 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 not sophisticated people. You don't wait and see. You ensure. Wow. Makes all the difference in the world, right? You're taking a couple of people to lunch, right? And you calculate, let's see, the tip will be about so much, right? You call Mary over and say, Mary, right? Arm around the shoulder. Mary, here's $10. Would you take good care of me and my friends? You won't believe the service. They do what's known as hover. I mean, they hover right around your table. Otherwise, you can never find them. I mean, where's my waitress? Where's my waitress? All the difference in the world. Same money, see, but it's called giving it up front instead of behind. Now, it doesn't mean you can do it every time, but it means you just think of ways to be unique. Think of ways, right? It works wonders. I took a neat lady, oh, this has been a couple of years ago. We went to the Beverly Hilton Hotel to the Trader Vic's restaurant, close by where I used to live. And we're all excited about going to Trader Vic's, Beverly Hills, nice place to entertain. And when we get there, we drive up in front of Trader Vic's, and 2 attendants come out. One opens one door, one opens the other door. And they let out my lady friend. The other gentleman lets me out, says, Mr. Rohn, nice to have you here. And my lady's already impressed. He said, have a good meal. I said, we certainly will. So we leave, right, go into the restaurant, have this fabulous meal. When we come out of Trader Vic's, as we walk out the door, there is my car sitting right there. Both doors are open, and the motor is running. My lady can't believe. She said, I've never seen service like this. I said, hey, this is really great. So one attendant lets my lady friend in, right? On the other side, another one lets me in. They close the doors. Says, Mr. Rohn, it's been nice to have you here. Have a nice evening. I say, thank you very much, and I drive away. When we get to about the first light down on Wilshire Boulevard, my lady friend looks over at me. She says, Jim, hold it just a minute. I said, what is it? She said, I just thought of something. I said, what's that? She said, you forgot to tip him at Trader Vic's. After all that service, you didn't give him any money. I said, hey, look, it'll be okay. She said, oh, no, we got to go back. We got to go back. Go back. I said, hey, take my word for it. It's okay. She said, no, we got to go back. I mean, we're not going any further. You got to, for that kind of service, you got to tip the money. And then I had to tell her that I made my first trip to Trader Vic's that morning. Incredible. Lifestyle. Somebody once said, money takes no right out of the English language. If money is no problem, would you? Yes. You don't even have to go any further. But it doesn't take that much. You don't really have to be wealthy. All you have to be is smart. Smart, intelligence. Intellect is the measure of value. It is said the saints lived simply, not because they were holier, but because they were smarter. Could be. They were wiser. The simple things of life can many times be the most valuable. Lifestyle. Learning how to spend your money. Learning what to do with it. Anticipating versus waiting till the last minute. It's called lifestyle. A man in Detroit, Michigan, came to the seminar many years ago. Decided he was going to change his whole life. He said, Mr. Rohn, I got some major changes to make. And he said, you're going to be happy with my progress. I said, I don't doubt that. And sure enough, when I came back, a few months later, he already told me some neat stories. He said, one is, I've just been living this narrow life. He said, I've got 2 teenage daughters. And he said, it just hasn't been going that well. And he said, I can now see some of the major problems. And he said, I've been causing them. He said, let me tell you one little story. He said, my daughters like to go to some of the rock and roll concerts, right? And he said, sure enough, when it comes time for one of these big concerts to come to town, you know, my daughters come and they beg and they do all kinds of things to try, you know, finally get a couple of dollars out of me so they can go attend the concert. And he said, give them all these lectures, and reluctantly, finally, I part with my money and say, well, okay, if you insist, here's the money, but I hope there's not another one in a long time. He said, that's the way I operated, reluctantly. He said, most of the time, I even made him beg. And he said, now I can see that's not the way to live. And then he told me the story. After he decided to change his life and change his whole lifestyle and his procedure, he said, I'm going through the paper one day and I found out one of the rock concerts is coming to town, and it's one of my girl's favorite rock stars coming to town. So he said, now with my new life in view, he said, I go down and buy the tickets. And he said, I brought him home. When they got home from school that day, he said, I handed him an envelope and said, here are your tickets to the next concert. He said, the begging days are over. He said, my daughters couldn't believe what had happened. He said they were so happy, terribly excited. So he gives them the envelope. Now he says, don't open the envelope until the evening of the concert when you get there. They said, okay. So comes the evening of the concert, and his 2 daughters rush off to the concert. When they get there, they hand the usher the envelope. They open it up, right? And inside, they take out the tickets. And the usher says, follow me. Takes them down front. 10th row, center. They can't believe. They say, hey, wait a minute, hold it. Let's take a look at those tickets again. This can't be. He looks at the ticket and says, yes, it is. Just follow me. 10th row, center. See, before then, all the tickets they begged for were way back up in the balcony right, where you couldn't see hardly. They couldn't believe it, 10th row center. He said that night, a little late, just to see what would happen. He said, sure enough, the concert's over. Girls come home about midnight, bursting through the door. One lands in his lap. One's got her arms around his neck. They say, you have got to be probably the greatest father who ever lived. And he said, guess what those tickets cost me? $8. $8. You can't believe how for such small amounts you can change your whole life by changing your attitude, your procedure, your lifestyle, anticipating versus being reluctant, figuring out ways to do it with joy instead of animosity. Lifestyle. If there's one thing to start working on in a heavy way after you leave here this weekend, is figuring ways to be unique. Remember, it's not the amount that counts. It's the plan that counts. Lifestyle, learning how to live. See, once you've put this all together, you will anticipate every day. You can't wait for the morning to come. You can't wait to get started. You can't wait to get at it. You can't wait to put your plan into action. You can't wait for all the little surprises you've got ready for some people. You can't wait to execute lifestyle and be more productive and progressive and learn and grow. And of all of the things we've covered here in these 2 days, this is one of the things that can affect your life so much that now it will be an investment in your progress. It'll be an investment in your language. You can't believe what it'll do in getting you a promotion on the job. All things will reflect what you do concerning how you live, lifestyle, and what you do about your family and yourself and your money and your substance and your time and your talent and your ability. Don't just live your life, design it. Don't just exist. Grow, change, develop, become unique, and it'll add a whole new dimension to your life. It's called lifestyle, part of personal development.